Follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to this Samatha and Vipassana meditation, we develop Satipatthana. So, and according to the Theravada Buddhist tradition, there are two mental cultures, Samatha and Vipassana. So the Samatha mental culture means tranquilize your mind. And there are 40 meditation techniques that you can use to tranquilize your mind. But there are 4 mental culture, mental practice methods to develop the Vipassana. So it calls Satipatthana. So the Sati means your awareness, mindfulness, Patthana, establishing. So to establish your mindfulness, there are 4 kind of techniques. That is what we call 4 foundation meditation. And those are the related with the Vipassana meditation. And the very base of this all, why we practice this 4 kind of meditation techniques. So the 4 foundations, Kayanupassana, contemplating the body, Vedananupassana, contemplating the pain or the sensation, Chittanupassana, contemplating the mind, and Dhammanupassana, contemplating the very nature of the body. So what is that? The nature of the body means, as you know, there are different systems in our body. As example, blood circular system, digestive system, respiratory system, so nerve system, and in that nerve system, autonomic nerve system, parasympathetic nerve system, sympathetic nerve system, parasympathetic nerve system. So like that, there are different system in our body work naturally. So, and especially with the change happening within the body, growing your hair, growing your nails, and you changing the body, this is not somebody doing it. So observing that also Dhammanupassana, and it come out of the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness change. So somehow today we're going to understand why these 4 foundations. What is the very base? What is the very essence? From where it come? Why Buddha introduced this? So before the Buddha, there was the question in the world: is there soul or not? Is there Atman or not? So then people used to believe as self, or Atman as an entity, something eternal. So that was the beginning. And in the beginning, when the Buddha before he attained to the Buddhahood, as Prince Siddhartha, he used to search for two things. King Satya Gavesi, King Kusala Gavesi. So what is the truth? So just as example, take, if there is a soul, if there is something eternal, if there is something immortal, okay, what it is? So that's the question. Then start to observe that and went deeper, deeper questioning that. So when it comes to the soul, it's okay, just think yourself. We represent ourselves, our soul, to many different ways. So as example, when you say, I am, and my soul, and my Atman, so what is that mean? Just get into that. Just look yourself. And while you're listening to me, just look yourself. If somebody asks, what is your Atman? What is yourself? What is your soul? What you going to say or what you going to introduce? So one is your name. And one is your body, your physical body. And one is your thoughts or the ideas. And one is behind that thoughts that you're believing. So this it's a consciousness. This all you can represent as self, as soul, as Atman. So there is nothing else beyond this. Is there anything else you can introduce as yourself or your Atman or your soul? No. So you just maintain these things as self or soul. Then the four foundation introduced to recognize what is this body? What is this self? Is there deeper entity? Is there anything that exists without changing? So that's why, so Kaya Anupassana, observing, contemplating the body. And then you don't involve in it anything, you just observe the body according to it is, not changing, or you just observe. And then according to the body change, the moment by, sometimes you sitting, you also observing that, you moving, you observing that, you lying down, you observing the bodily postures, you observe it. And then Vedananupasana, and the other one is your feelings you represent as self. So then you observe your feelings and see, is there anything that you can find as soul? And then other one is your thoughts. So then you observe your thoughts and see, is there anything that you can find? Something exists in, because you now represent your ideas, your consciousness as yourself, as your soul, as your Atman. So then you should find it. If you cannot find, how you can introduce as you? Just be very simple. It's not something complicated. But the thing is, we addicted to look for complicated things. And even when there are simple things, we make it complicated. Don't afraid for the history, or don't afraid for the theories, or don't afraid for any kind of big words or the names or the people. Because you also have the same kind of understanding. You are part of the same the existence. You also have the same kind of capacity. So then look yourself. So that's why the four foundation introduced. And it is not to introduce itself, that is what the Buddha did. The Buddha went through observing the body. deeper, deeper, deeper to the bottom of the body, physically. Observe all kind of bodily postures and the bodily behavior. And what found out? Change, always change. Moment by moment, change. And then the feelings, sensation, and went to each and every sensation to the bottom of it, and then found out what? Nothing, always change. And then thoughts, went to the each and every thoughts. And even though, remember, even though in the Western, the psychology, it says consciousness, subconsciousness, super subconsciousness, universal consciousness, these kind of ideas. And in Buddhism, the Buddha introduced it as a one entity. It's called Chitta. It's not, there is nothing you can separate. The Chitta, as an example, when it come to, when you say human, you can cut his head and cut his legs and separate it. No, the human mean the one entity. The man or the woman, it's a one entity. So like that, the Chitta, the Buddha talk about the Chitta. And the Chaitasika means its parts. How the Chitta exists with the Chaitasika. So that's how the Buddha explained regarding the mind. And so when it went through each and every thought and to the depth of the mind, and they found out there is nothing. Nothing exists without changing. And then the Dhamma, the very nature of the body and the very behavior of the itself, the body, and found out nothing. And then there were many ideas. There is another meditation called Navasivatika Bhavana. That's mean that looking a dead body and step by step, there are 9 steps how this body decay, that disappear moment by step. And the body start, once you die, the body start to become kind of like the heavy, all the water is start to come up, becoming big, and then the water is start to go down, and all the muscles get into bones, and then the bones, the muscles disappear, bone next. So like that, then the skin and the bone. So like 9 steps, and then even the bones become dust. So why that introduce that? What is that meditation technique? Because some people believed, they thought there is soul hide inside the body, and then after we die, it go somehow, maybe from top of our head, disappear. That is the place that the soul go out once we die. So then what the Buddha did, and start to observe a body without getting any rest. And still there are some monks, you practice, and when people die, they offer the body, and they observe, and what is happening to this body. There is nothing, any spirit move away. So like that, this all the meditation take you to the bottom of the reality. There's nothing else. And that's why this foundation introduced. Now you know what is the reason. Because once you recognize there is no self, there is no soul, there is no something eternal, or there is no something as the entity, or there is no something without changing exist. This everything moment by moment change. Then why it change? While you observing, you recognize according to necessary conditions in that very moment, things behave. That's why I call cause and effect. So once the mind able to recognize this, then you release from the sansara. You come out of this existence. Because this believing, this pattern, hold it to this, itself create that. Itself create that. And when you believe there is something, you see it's like that way. So that's why this four foundation introduced. So then ourselves, we're going to exercise. So when it comes to four foundation, observing body, one meditation technique. And so then you observe according to that. You don't do anything, you don't change anything, you don't have a wish, or you don't try to maintain. You just observe as it is. And the thought, if the thought arises, you don't go with the thoughts, and you just observe the thoughts, and the sensation the same. So here we take only one mental object, that's the inhalation, exhalation. So when you go deeper, slowly you can get into other techniques also, little by little, but for now we practice observing the sensation. So observing sensation related with this all four foundation, that is one thing. How it related with because the very the sensation, this respiratory system happen according to the bodily action. It is not your mental action, it is a bodily action in the main time, in the beginning. According to the body, this inhalation, exhalation happens. And the other one is, there is a sensation also arise. So then there is a, you can contemplate the sensation also. So then that Vedananupassana also there. And then that according to the pattern of the inhalation, exhalation, your thought pattern also change. Once you recognize that, that means you're going to see the thought also that related with the Chittanupassana. Another thing is this entire body and calm down, and you feel more relaxed and comfortable. And then you recognizing that arise, that comfort arise according to the relaxation of your inhalation, exhalation. So that way, Dhammanupassana, this all four foundations you can experience when you observe the inhalation, exhalation. So if you are a beginner, just bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Just observe inhalation, exhalation. So separately recognize according to the sensation, not by thinking, visualizing, dreaming, holding breath, not like that. Just allow it to happen. And then little by little, when the mind settles down, bring more attention and recognize the beginning, the middle, end of the inhalation, the beginning, the middle, and end of the exhalation. So entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. And the third step, some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, softer. So inhalation, exhalation behave different ways. Just recognize that and stay with it. And you no need to go in order, just I'm giving some information. When you practice yourself, so whatever this experience come, now you know. Another thing is, sometimes you feel more comfortable, relaxed, as I mentioned, according to the, when your breathing become calm down, your body start to feel more relaxed. So don't take it too serious. Just stay with the inhalation, exhalation knowingly. And sometimes thought can disturb, different thoughts can overtake the moment. So then just know the behavior of the thought, just don't react to it, stay with the sensation. And then when you go this way, in a certain level, your body, your breathing, your mind start to calm down and work as one. So that is the tranquility state. Once you come to tranquility state, if you cannot come to that, don't worry, just stay wherever you are, just recognize your experience, allow it to happen, go with it. And then If you come to certain level of calmness, and then from there, let go all the thoughts. Don't wait for anything. Don't think ahead, or don't try to analyze anything. Oh, this is that, this is inhalation, this is exhalation. No, don't categorize anything. Just completely be empty, like with the very fresh, clear mind, without any thoughts. Just with the very fresh mind, just observe and see what you can experience, and just go with it. Go with, don't hold it, don't try to repeat, or don't try to memorize, or don't try to the rewind what you experience. As example, you stay like this, then suddenly you feel the sensation all over your body and disappear. So then don't look for it, just go away. Just keep going, keep going. Sometimes once first time you experience that, maybe you stay and start to think again and again, and then anymore it is not the meditation. Now what is happening in your mind, you create a pattern to make it happen, and you try to make it happen. No. So that is the challenge. That is where you need the strength. That is where you need the awareness. That is where you have to be mindful, and not to stuck inside you, and just to be free. Be free yourself, be free yourself, and always get into the newness, keep the newness, and that way see is there anything what you can experience. Okay, so with that we're going to start our meditation. So keep relax your body, and your right palm on your left, and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body, and scan head to toes 3 times, and say Suapatveva, or may I be well and happy, 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we are spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from your all past memories, and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing your inhalation, exhalation, and bring your attention to your body. And focus to your lower part of the body, and recognize the sensation, any feelings, tightness, heaviness, heat. Just get a mental note. Don't have any wish out of it. Don't try to change anything. Bring attention to your lower back. Upper back and shoulders. Arms, elbow, forearms, palms, fingers, fingertips. Chest and abdominal muscles. Neck and head. And observe your whole body and just get a mental note. Whatever the sensation arise, whatever you recognize, just let it be, but recognize. Bring attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathing, breathe out 3 times and recognize the sensation. Now stay with the sensation and recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Let everything to settle down. Observe the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. This is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Recognize the very behavior of the inhalation, exhalation. Some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just accept it. Stay with the sensation. Detach all the thoughts and the patterns. Be completely empty. Bring your full attention. Activate your maximum awareness with the maximum strength. With the free mind. Observe the sensation. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Bring attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light around your compound, your village, city, state, country, world, around this universe, and as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion, beginning from your heart, forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side, downward and upward, to all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun. Spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, in day-to-day life, we like to develop a order and pattern. So remember in the beginning, this all conversations that we go through, we have two different ways, conventional and eternal. There are some words we use to introduce conventionally. There is no deeper eternal meaning behind it. So in the depth of this all, when you get into the change, there is nothing permanent. Even that what we learn also the same. There are certain words, even though we use for conventional truth or for communication, there is nothing beyond that communication. So be very clear with that. Somehow that we like to develop a order, pattern. Look at your house. The itself, this all the material things we try to keep into a order. And the same way, in mentally, we develop a pattern. We have an order. But when we look at our own life, when we look at the human history, from our ancestors, billion years, from Homo sapiens to today, when we look at, even though in that very existence ourselves, we develop an order, when we look at in a large scale, we cannot see our order or our pattern, whatever we develop, is correct. So that when we look at the very present moment of the life, see, in every ways we collapse, spiritually, economically, socially, politically. So in every angle, we are in a very difficult moment. How it is possible? If the order is correct, it should not happen that way. So then there is something wrong. Is something not right? So what is that? So our very behavior is thinking. And the thinking develop according to the thoughts. And you always think, especially regarding your sensations. You think. And your life is whole bunch of thinking, bunch of thoughts. Is there any way that you can live without thinking? Even you don't want to think about that. Because that much we are brainwashed to that. Because we have no idea even how we can do like that. So to think, you need thoughts. From where the thoughts come? Thought come out of the memory. So the memory means remembrance. Whatever you remembered is your thoughts. So whatever you remembered, there should be an experience. So without experience, you cannot remember. So you have to deeply investigate about what I'm saying. Don't just keep listening. You don't need to believe. So without experience, you cannot remember. Even you heard about, as example, you talk about something, whatever happened yesterday, or you have an idea about something, from where it came. It came through certain experience. Maybe it happened to you, maybe it happened to somebody else, and then you heard it. So that heard, that itself is an experience. The point is this: the experience means you become very limited to something. When you mean experience, you become very limited to something. So if you become very limited, you are not completely understand it. So then if your memory related with your experience, then according to the memory you have the thoughts, and according to that thoughts, if you're thinking, even though it is a pattern inside you, keep thinking, it has a disorder. What is that disorder? Because it comes out of incompletion. That's why from the ancient time to today, look how many things add, moment by every day, adding. It's like computers, it's like iPhone. Look, every day adding. Why that happen like that way? Because even those, they say, oh, this is the most complete product, and it is not complete. If it is complete, within another 4 months, 6 months, how something else can add to that? So our thoughts the same. So from our ancestors, whoever introduced anything, look how many things today we add to that. So then in that very moment, even though it understood as something complete, and today it is totally different. So then this the thing. If you develop a pattern according to your thoughts, you are in disorder. You are not in order. That is what happening to this entire humanity. It is just not only you, we addicted to that. And that is what we giving to our next generations. You are incomplete. Your incompletion, you inject to others, knowingly or unknowingly. How? Because you follow the thoughts, incomplete thoughts. That the thought came from the memory, and the memory came out of the experience. When you experience something, that's mean in that very moment, you are incomplete. You are not the 100% function. So this is the pattern of the samsara. So then out of that thought, even in that very moment, when the thought, with the thought, when you try to experience something itself, you disconnect from the reality. So then, how you can get into the order? I give a little something that you to work. So I don't give a the kind of like the long testing period. No, just take 1 hour every day. Then you can test it and then try yourself. So don't follow the order, the thoughts, and start to follow the time. Go with the time rather than go with the thoughts. And according to time, and try to analyze things, that in that analyzing mean in that very moment, if you are in, that's why it called in another way, it's a very common way, be in the present. Be in the present mean what? You are in the timeline, in the moment, not in the past or the future. So the thought, if you go with the thoughts, you disconnect from the moment, you disconnect from the timeline. So start to, rather than giving more effort to your thoughts, start to recognize the time and focus to the time. So that's why, as example, so for children, use for office or anywhere, you give the timetable. So when the person start to go with the timetable, look, the person start to complete his tasks. So spiritually, mentally, in the samsara, it's kind of like we are in disorder. Even the misery is we believing we are in the order. So that's why we go in the samsara. That disorder, we take as an order. So what is the order should be? Go with the time. That is the order you have to keep. So when you are in the time, what will happen? You no need the thoughts to work. And your direct perception, in that very moment, whatever happened, your mind start to ability to react according to necessary conditions in that very moment. That means you go with the flow. So that is the technique you have to develop. So when you able to go with the flow, that means go with the time. When you are getting to the time, when you don't go with your previous thoughts or the memory, what is happening? Your mind have ability to see how things come to be as they are. That is the power of mind. But if you struggle, hold with the thoughts, the mind cannot do that. Mind cannot get into that. But once you come out of the thoughts and stay with the moment, the mind able to recognize how things come to be as they are. In that very moment, you come to a point, your actions happen without thinking. Your recognition happen without thinking. That should be your experience. Because the real experience, remember, there is no solid consciousness. The consciousness moment by moment, moment by moment happening. So when you go with the time, the moment by moment that you go, and when you go with that, there is something happen. That is the magic. You come out of the experience. You come out of the experience, because once you try to experience something, that means you hold it to memory. But you experience something without memory, without holding, and then it is moment by moment happening. When you able to get into that, you are not anymore develop the disorder. That means you not develop the samsara. So then you are will get into the transformation or the liberation or the nibbana in that scale. But it takes time. But that is what happening. But the thing is, we in this disorder and believing we are in the order. So that is what called the ignorance itself. We don't recognize this reality. And we recognize something else as reality. And we get the lie as truth. We don't see the truth as truth. But when you able to that is the great the sages, scientists in the ancient time, they used to go with the time and they're trying to get into this. But the Buddha is the one who exactly found the method to come out of the mind and get into the experience without experiencing it. So it is a very limited words that we have to introduce this moment of the happening. So that's why I mentioned that don't tangle with the words, because we're talking about come out of the experience, and at the same time it become experience to yourself. Live without experiencing. And in that very moment, you are available for anything and anything possible. And that is where you can maintain things. Why? Because your mind is very clear. There is nothing behind it. That is where you see how things come to be as they are. That is the moment you have the 100% the power or the authority or the awareness to do whatever the things that you want to do according to that moment. So slowly try to understand this little by little, and try to go with the time. Don't try to repeat your past. So, and don't try to jump ahead the time and go with the time. Whatever, go with the time. Whatever, go with the moment. And that will help you to understand this more. And with that, there's a story for this. There was a Zen master, Nonoko. And the Nonoko Zen master used to practice meditation. And in his ashram, he had certain kind of very old, ancient kind of antiques. So Zen master was practicing meditation. Then suddenly there was a thief came to the temple. And master was practicing meditation. And the thief was so silently start to get into inside the room. And then the master recognized there was a thief and told, in that box, in that corner, in that box, there are some coins, take it. And the thief was kind of like afraid, but then he opened the box and exactly there was some money. And then told, there is this vase and it is a little more valuable, take it. And then the thief took that vase and told, be careful, it's very fragile, take care. So like that, the Nonoko master used to, in this dark night, used to guide the thief to take everything. And then the thief ready to left. And the master told, so you not say thank you? So then the thief told thank you and left the ashram. And so then by the morning, the whole village was unrest because he robbed all the village and everywhere. And the people came to temple and ran to temple, and they knew there are a lot of valuable things in the temple. And everybody ran to the temple, and the Nonoko master was there. And asked, why, what happened, what happened? Then everybody told, oh, Venerable Sir, this what happened, Master, that the last night there was a very dangerous thief came and took everything. And then they asked, what happened to your temple? Where are that all the valuable antiques items? And then he told, I gave that everything to the thief. And not only that, he thanks me. So the people was shocked to hear that. And then after people left, the very next day, thief returned to him and told, please accept me as your student and teach me. So our life also the same. The way we take, and mostly if you try to hold certain things in your life, and sometimes it's going to go away, and even there are a lot of things going to that go away from us. But if you are able to, knowing this, and if you can decide yourself what to do before things happen, it's kind of like a mastering the life. There are a lot of things happen to you. You know that, you saw it, but you didn't react in the right way and thinking, hold it to yourself. And you knew there are a lot of people going away from you. You knew it happening. But themselves, they left you. But how about if you told, once you, in the very first day when you recognize, if you tell, please go and open the gate, open the door, and even if, how about if you can give some pocket money, take this with you. The whole picture going to change. There are things, lot of things disappear from you. And you know it today. It vanished, it gone. You will never find it in. And you knew it before it going to go away, you knew it going to happen. And how about if you able to donate it or give it to somebody? And with the appreciate note, I am really appreciate you, you accept this. How about today? The picture already changed. So then remember, still tomorrow you will see a lot of things. But if you become very clear and you have opportunity to change that everything to very beautiful picture. So it is up to you. So with that, I bless upon everyone. By this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata cha amme sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Okay, bless you.